Thank you so much for joining in today with the Marlana J Today Show. We are in for a treat tonight. I've got some special guests in the house, and they come from the east and the west side. Uh, we've got a special guest right now in studio with us to talk about some new projects she's working on. More importantly, though, talk about what history in the making she's done. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, she's worked with the top. She had some beautiful music out in the 90s, and we're going to talk about that as well. Without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Miss Rhonda Clark. Woo!
Hello. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Girl,
Hi,
how have you been? How have you been?
all is well, doing well, doing well.
Good, good.
And
You
yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
you are
Thank,
so beautiful and all you're right. You have done
thank
some marvelous work. You were very hot in the 90s and R&B scene. Uh,
yeah,
Stay Here and Stay Near was one of your charts. It charted,
yeah.
and then you had a couple of others that charted as well. What would you say, Rhonda, in industry that made the difference for you? What made the difference for you in terms of being an artist during that time? You came out when a lot of folks were doing their thing, and you didn't get the recognition I think that you could have gotten. What was some of the competition that you endured early on?
Um, I don't, I don't want to say competition. Clarence Avant signed me, and he's the godfather of music, uh, along with my manager Don Cody. I have to say that, but he made sure I had the best of the best. Honestly, between him, Tommy Mottola, getting me Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So I was never ever put on a back burner. And I have to say, I was treated very well. And I thank you for saying more recognition. I should have, I understand that, but I do thank God for what I did get. I mean, I had the best of the best Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I asked Clarence one day, I said, I had already told people a long time ago, I'm going to have Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis do my album. Watch, I'm going to get them. I prayed for them. And I
Right.
told Clarence that, God, I want Jimmy and Terry to do my album. A couple days later, they were doing my album. Clarence said,
Wow.
Jimmy and Terry are going to do your album. And so Jimmy and Terry, of course, had a crew. Randy Rand, who did Stay Near, who produced and wrote Stay Near, Stay Here. And Randy passed away.
Mm.
I think it was a motorcycle accident, but I think at that time he had signed to Arista on his own. Genius, genius writer. And Marva King on one of the albums with Chucky Howard from
Wow.
Detroit, Sid and Phil Cheney. So I've had the best of the best. And I don't know about, I can't really say I was in competition with anybody but me, if that makes sense. I was always
Yeah.
competing with Rhonda to do better than I did before. And
Mhm.
so I didn't even look at the artists on the market because I have a way of doing my own thing
Right.
and singing my own way and just praying and asking God to show me how to use my gift. But the market was full and there was, there's, well, I don't want to say some fights, but there were some things going on behind the scenes, but I was always treated well. And Clarence eventually moved us from one label to the other because Clarence was all about making sure whatever he believed in, whoever he believed in, he was going to make sure they had the best.
Right. And
So
you moved from Arista to which
uh,
label did
um,
you move to?
we Taboo moved from Sony to Universal.
Universal, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
And once you
and
got to Universal, that's when you charted, right? You got to Universal and made some headway.
I charted on Sony as well with State of Attraction. and
Okay.
then that one didn't have a video, but then Stay Near, Stay Here. And
Hmm.
I believe that one was a chart holder as well. And If Loving You Is Wrong, If Loving You Is Wrong.
Right.
But then we went to Universal and did well there with the album. So
Which song would you say when you went to Universal was one of your greatest songs that you did? Was it Everything? The one that, or did you do that with Arista?
you know what I mean, oh, with Universal, look, you know what I love? I love Must Be Real Love. And that one was Christopher Troy and Zach Harmon. And what I love
Okay.
is Jimmy and Terry put a mix on there that was only played on a few radio stations, but they had breaks in it, and they were pausing it. They just rocked it. Chris and Zach rocked it, and Marvin King had a part of it. And also, I tell you, I think next Teardrop, although that wasn't a single that was released, radio stations started playing it, and they considered that one more of pop, of a pop song.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
And it's nice. It's almost got that guy feel. During that time, a lot of the songs were they had that hip hop, that
yeah,
that music almost mixed with house music type. Most of the music
yeah,
sounds similar in the 90s because we were
yeah,
doing that type of dance and getting down like that.
yes,
So that was interesting how you tied that in, of course.
yeah.
Um would you say over the years, because you stopped doing music, what did you do in between all the music and after the 90s? What happened? What'd you do?
I actually never stopped recording. I just kept writing. I have songs. I think I have enough songs for uh, probably 5, 10 albums. Simeo, my producer from Cash Flow Cameo, he's sitting here. He can tell you when I come to the studio, like I'll have this bag and I'll just dump out songs all over, and he laughs because I have so many songs. And I'll go through them. He just looks at them, and I'll say, "See this right here? It's this one right here." And I say, "Wait a minute, let me get to the other paper." So I never stopped writing, never stopped recording, and I just kind of laid back. I have children. I was married at the time, and I decided to go back to college. That's not what I really wanted to do at the time, but I wanted to go on and complete what I started, not because
Yeah.
I planned on practicing as a mental health therapist, which I am licensed as a mental health therapist, but uh, but I was still singing and making music, and I just knew that at some point I had to go back to doing what I loved most, was getting it back out there on the scene. And so Simeo was
So you
on
went
me.
That's
Uh-huh.
awesome. We're gonna have him come in and do his thing too and talk
Scoot
about
over
some
here.
of that some of that history because
Yeah,
yeah, just slide on in.
scoot over
Just
here.
slide on in from cash flow. It's amazing how things happen. So we've got some legendaries here. Come on and introduce yourself to the audience and let people know what you've done and as a producer and you're doing some marvelous things even right now, just helping Rhonda get her career back on track with music, new music. And so give us a little history about what you've done, the cameo, cash flow. Come on, I've got a
Well,
legendary
I,
man in the
well,
house.
He's
I,
so shy.
I'm one of the former singers from the group Cash Flow and writer for Cameo. I've written 4 or 5 of the big songs with Cameo over the years. Before then, I was a well-known drummer in Detroit. I'm the former drummer for the Dramatics, the Spinners. I worked with Michael Henderson for a while. At the peak of my career, had a chance to play drums a couple times to fill in for Miles Davis, and yeah, it's been a ride. I produce Lenny Williams and oh man, L.J. Reynolds and so many people over the years, and as well as rap artists like Jadakiss and the Dayton family, MC Breed back in the day. I mean, yeah, a
Wow.
lot of folks over the years.
And you helped write one of my favorite, Candy. You
Well,
helped
yeah, that's
write
when
that.
I kind of came into the mix right when all of that was happening. So yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
it's been a blessed ride. Yeah.
So, you being a producer, what would you say to the new generation of music, the new engineers, the new producers, the new people that are coming in that are doing a lot of the tech music? What would you give them as far as advice and what they can do a little bit different in how they move in this industry because it's different,
Well, the best thing to do is stick to what you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all have great thoughts. Don't lose yourself in
Mm-hmm.
another artist trying to sound like somebody else. I guess that's
Right.
the main thing, because at one point on radio we got to a point to where you could play 10 songs in a row and they all sounded like they belonged to the same project, but it shouldn't be like that. Each
right?
individual should have their own space as an artist. So I would say overall, stick to what got you to the table. If you're seeking a record deal, stick to that. And you know, another person's ideas, you know, that's their ideas, that may not fit what it is you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to do. So that
Mm-hmm.
would be my advice.
Great
And of
advice.
course know the business, you know about protecting your music and your, you know, your publishing, your copyrights and whatever else, and branding yourself is the main thing in today's market.
Definitely. Well, that's what we're doing today with Rhonda. We're giving her some additional marketing. We're giving her additional exposure through the Marlana J Today show. Rhonda,
Right.
can you tell us how this new project came about? I know you got a
Yeah.
single that's playing on the radio right now, and
Yes.
yeah, how did it come about, and what do you want the audience to know about your new music?
Well, what Simeo was saying, Simeo is bossy. He kept pushing me like, "Come on, you got to get your, you know." He's one of my biggest, besides Don and Don Cody, just one of my
Yeah,
biggest people who he believes in me. So he was like, "We got to get this out here." So we came to the
right,
studio and we started. I would write and he would write with me. And Samuel is a genius. He eats, thinks, sleeps music. He this is his studio is his life. And so we came in and we started doing songs. And Simeo knows everybody in the industry, literally. And we end up getting in touch with one of the best people in the business. You know that. One of the greatest, my amazing, phenomenal manager, Don Cody. And all these songs have been played on top radio stations ever since. We've had Sick Love out as a first single. That's All Right, Lay Me Down, and now the other one.
Yeah.
That's
awesome,
the clean
awesome.
version.
Yeah, the clean. Give them the title, the clean version.
uh, that's why I don't F with you.
F with you. Uh-huh. 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 And we have a clean version. We're gonna play that. The audience will be able to hear it definitely on radio. We don't want
Yeah.
our live feed to get caught. So we're just gonna make sure that we play that on our live show on Thursday when we play it on the radio for our iHeart listeners on Bayshore Radio, home of smooth jazz and R&B, and so we're gonna definitely give you kudos on that.
Thank you.
And with that said, you are doing some other things out. You're getting your music out. You're going from place to place. Are you doing venues? Do you have a new concert coming up? Tell us what you're doing next and where they can come and see you perform.
I will have a lot of things coming up 2025. Don is working on some of everything. My last performance was the national anthem for one of the hockey teams, uh,
Yes.
Flint Firebirds, and I'm going to be doing concerts. I'm going to be doing some of everything.
Oh,
Simeon's got
good.
to put my band together.
Good, good. Simeo is keeping you straight. I see it. I see it.
Yes, he,
And
yes, he is.
tell the people how they can connect with you because Instagram, give them your Instagram handle, give them your handle where they can connect with you and stay in connection with you and get your
They can go
followers up and all that.
to any and everything. YouTube,
Facebook.
Facebook, what any and
Yeah,
everything
Instagram.
that music is played on, every major. Uh,
Well, if they want to network with you on
yeah,
Facebook and
yeah,
Instagram, yeah.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yes. Just look for
Rhonda
Rhonda
Clark.
Clark. Yes. The
And I
singer
get,
and song.
yeah,
Are you the
I
Go
real
ahead.
Rhonda?
yeah, about the real Rhonda Clark. I get
Exactly.
a
I was
lot of.
gonna say you.
I just got a message from Africa. They're like, we're playing. They were playing Sick Love, and I think Stay Near, Stay Here. They were playing Sick
Awesome.
Love and Stay Near, Stay Here, and they WhatsApp me like, Rhonda, my song, my songbird is what one of the people in
Yeah.
Africa call me. I mean, they play my music like crazy. They're the UK, here in America too. But
Yeah.
the following there is like I've they've been in vineyards where it's like hundreds and hundreds, and they're playing tomorrow. Stay
Right.
near, stay here. State of
I
attraction.
I think stay here, stay near is gonna resurface. We're getting back to that sound, and
Yeah.
sometimes you don't even realize it. But sometimes music, 20 years were played 20 years ago is resurfacing now, and it's even better
Yes.
when you hear it. It's
Yes.
just like wow. When I listened to it, I was like, wow, this needs to be played more. So you're gonna be hearing more of
Thank you.
that song. And
Thank
that's
you.
like artists get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. And they're like, man, that's my old stuff. But sometimes that old stuff has so much richness. You just want to keep playing it. So we're gonna keep
It does.
playing your music,
I
Rhonda.
appreciate
We're gonna keep supporting what you do. Just keep shining, keep being beautiful as you are. You ain't aged
you.
not one bit. When they look at your album from 1992, they'll be like, this girl on age, what's she taking? But it's been so
Genetics,
real.
genetics of my mother.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you, Mom. But
But you are
just it's
beautiful,
just
I
been
have to say.
thank
You
you.
are so pretty.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, genetics.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
know, right?
Ma. Thanks to our parents, but just a wonderful, wonderful time with you. And again, thank you so much for sitting in with Marlana J. You guys have a
Thank you
great day.
so much.
And Mr. Cash Flow, yeah,
All
Simeon, you're
right.
gonna come back
Come say
in.
bye.
Thank you.
Come on, just
So
say
you're
bye.
gonna think, man, I'm so man, I'm overwhelmed that I even had you on.
Hey, that's all
This is
right.
crazy. This is crazy, like
I'm
for
loving
real.
it.
It's
This
I
is
just
my
appreciate
brother,
you.
unbelievable.
my
I
brother and my
appreciate you
friend.
all too. Yes,
Thank
I love
you.
it. So you
And
guys
thank you
have
to
a
Don
great evening.
Cody, my manager.
Yes, Don Cody, the manager, getting everybody hooked in. And you guys, when you're here in Atlanta, definitely check us out, and we look
Of
forward to seeing
course.
you when you come through Atlanta. Okay, you guys
Thank
have a
you.
great night. Thank you so
Thank
You
much
you.
for
too.
coming in. All
Thank
God
right.
you so
bless.
much.
Mm. Now I know y'all know this tune. Express yourself. I have a special guest in the house. This song has resurfaced, been heard on movies, commercials, and I have the legendary Mr. Charles Wright in the house. I'll turn it down. We can turn the music down. Mr. Charles, how are you doing? I have
I'm
to say
fine.
Mr. Charles because you are a legend. I was like, I have got to make sure that I give him the bow and the
Oh,
kudos to all of what you've done for us. Um, Express Yourself was definitely a phenomenal, right? It is a phenomenon when it took off and crossed over, uh, and during a time where white folks and black folks weren't getting along too well, and you were doing your thing in music. And I really want to give you kudos to that because as I listened to your music, you were revolutionary in your writing, even during that time. And some of the music, like Road Without on End,
Roll.
You've Got to
Yeah,
Know. Yes, man, that, woo, people need to go back and listen.
you're very
Tell me
talented.
about them.
You're very talented to recognize that song. Uh,
Yes.
oh, thank you so much for mentioning it because it's one of my favorite songs that I've written.
Yeah, that was powerful.
Yeah.
And Express Yourself. I know, was that something that just happened and you just kind of got in the studio and just did it and went for
No,
it with the band?
it didn't happen like that.
Okay.
Actually, I told this story before, but we were doing a concert at Texas A&M one night.
Oh. Mhm. Mhm.
And we closed with my song "Do Your Thing," which was a hit record at the time. And the kids wouldn't stop clapping and stomping. So only God made me say it. I said, "Express yourself," and they went wild.
Wow.
I went to the room that night in my hotel room and with my guitar, a pad and pencil, and I wrote "Express Yourself."
Wow.
The next day, came back to LA, and following that was like on a weekend. The following first of the first week, I took my band in the studio to record it, but it didn't
Mhm.
work out. So I then went just got two other guys and myself and did the track. And I brought it back to, I had an 8-piece band. I brought it back to for the horn players to learn their part, to play their part, and nobody liked it. They they said it was a piece of shit. Excuse me.
That's
I,
what they do. They put it down. They don't even know what's going on.
I threatened them to get some other guys that used to play with me in the studio to do it, and they grumbled and they played it. And then I took it to the president of Warner Brothers, and he said the same thing. It's a piece of shit.
Wow.
I said, just put it out, man. You'll see it's a hit.
Hmm.
We were playing in Detroit in a club it was run by a disc jockey.
Mhm.
And I had the first two copies sent to me in Detroit. I gave him one. He took it in his office. He came out. Said, I think you made a mistake this time, Charles. But I'm going to
Wow.
play it since you guys are doing such a great job in my club.
Hmm.
And next thing you know, I made them all out a liar.
Yes. Yes. Because
Yeah,
that has, I remember seeing it on commercials. They've used it for numerous commercials,
you know,
the movies, just
it's been in more than 100 commercials around the world. It's
mm-hmm.
still
Mm-hmm.
in commercials right now around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been in 38 movies.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I didn't think it was going to do all of that. But I'm
Yeah.
proud,
Yeah.
I'm proud it did, yeah.
Yeah. But that was a God thing, and gifted from the heavens. And when that happens, there's no limit, right? There's no limit.
You
What's
never,
another what's another one of your favorite from back in the day? What's another favorite of yours back in the day?
One of my songs.
Yes, one of your songs.
Oh, well, "Do Your Thing," of course.
Yes.
And another song hadn't been exposed enough was "Your Love Means Everything to Me." You
Oh, okay.
probably check it out. It's funky. And
Yes.
uh,
I had you gotta know what you gotta
got
know what.
what you're doing when you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, doing.
Yeah,
That's good too. That's a good one.
this is like
Okay.
nobody's ever seen this before.
Let me
No,
see. Bring it over this way. That the other
okay.
way. There you go. No, 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 the other way.
Well,
Come the
which
other way. Yeah, that hand. Use that hand. Bring it over. I can't see it. Yeah, there you go. Right there. There you go. Yeah, that's your book.
this is my next book. It'll be out in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
Bless yourself.
That's awesome. It's a motivational book. It talks about your journey as an artist.
Yes, it does. This book here is my first book.
Come on
Uh,
over the other way.
geez.
There you
Oh,
go.
okay, this is my first book when I had hair.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of this book.
That's when you did the song You Need to Find Your Ugly Woman. I was gonna be mad at you about that song. That's when you did that song, but we ain't gonna talk about that song.
I love that song. I love it, looking for another woman. You see the video?
I sure did. That's why we
Yeah,
ain't gonna talk because I look like the one you call pretty. I look like her back in the day. I was like, nah, we ain't gonna talk about that one.
well, well, let me tell you, you is pretty.
Thank you. But I love that song, Find You an Ugly Woman. That's that because the reality is a lot of people think like that. Um and then also I'll give you time on was a good one for me. I'll give you time.
You got good taste.
Oh
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah. I do have another song that's been recorded by quite a few people that
Okay.
nobody's ever heard because it was revolutionary. It's called Comment. You ever hear that?
Okay. No, I
If
didn't
all,
hear that one.
if all men are truly brothers.
Okay. I'm gonna pull it and play it on Thursday. I will do that because
Yeah,
your music definitely needs to be played during this time in our world today. It's just like I was telling Rhonda, even though you made the music in the 70s you've made the music over the years, now we're in that same,
so
unfortunately,
I
revolutionary time where music is going to make a difference between us understanding where we need to be. And some of your music actually speaks to all of that.
well the song I'm talking about now, Comment. Been trying to get Warner Brothers to re-release it, but they won't do it. But anyway, you ought to check that song out. And if you play it on the radio, you'd be really doing something because it says some stuff in there that needs to be heard right now.
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
will always need to be heard.
For
Comment for
sure.
all family brothers.
For sure. So, Mr. Charles, tell us about how you transitioned because you were a musician and a songwriter and band leader and you got everybody together and brought people together with different talents and gifts and made great music. What would you say to the audience on how, and I know God is your center because we're going to talk about Follow Your Spirit, which is really your new project, and it really does speak to all of it. But what would you say to the people on how you stayed motivated during a time where you were rejected and you had to put your things together and put people together to make the music you wanted to create?
I've been rejected all of my life. My father allowed his sharecropping boss to convince him that the blues was the devil's music.
Mm.
So I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music until I decided on my own that I was going to listen to it anyway at about 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my parents didn't want me to sing. They wanted me to sing spiritual music only. And I
Yeah.
really wasn't one of those people that sing spiritual music. Think
Right.
I think love is spiritual.
That's right.
So
It is.
yeah, so I like to sing about love. Love
Yeah.
between a man and a woman, love between people with other people, and I, I, I did it all against the grain
Mm.
because my parents did not support me at all. Uh, to this day, my family, they're very religious people, so they have never supported me. So I did it all against the grain, and there
You
you
made
have.
it. And this is the thing. You may have done it against their grain. You didn't do it against the grain, because God put it in you to do what you're doing. And I tell people all that. While we have gifts and talents in the church, we also have gifts and talents in this world that were created to make people motivated and inspired and love. And the greatest gift of God is love. So if you're
And
making music that helps that loving, honey, you're doing a great service to the kingdom of God. Let's just say
and
that.
all music is God's music.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It couldn't exist if it wasn't for God.
Yes. Yes. He gives us divine thoughts. And speaking of that, it goes right into your new project, Follow the Spirit. I truly can see that it is it's a song of joy and family and fun, and let's just have a good time and step this thing on out. It's a great stepping song. It's just so the stepping community is going to get this for sure. But you tell us about how you came about with that song.
The world is so full of negative things nowadays. And I thought maybe a song about positivity, about bringing people together and about singing about God being in your corner. And we got so much available to us, but we don't put it to use properly sometimes. And I
Yeah.
just want to do something that bring people to the thought of positivity.
Wonderful. Well, before we get out of here, they can follow you, Charles Wright, right? How do they follow you on social media
Well, they can follow me on Facebook and all of those other social situations.
platform?
And
Okay.
my website is expressyourself.net.
Wonderful. And hold those two books up. And Greg's gonna play your new Follow the Spirit uh for us.
I can't.
Yes. And yep. And the other one, Express Yourself. Yes. Yep. Up from where we've come. And then by Charles Wright. And then the other one is going to be Express Yourself. That's coming out. It's going to be a book about his journey. So we're so glad you stopped through. And Greg, can we get a little bit of Follow Your Spirit while he's on? Just turn up a little bit. This is Mr. Charles Wright. And this is his new single, Follow Your Spirit.
Don't let other people bring you down.
Yes.
Don't you listen to That's a million
Now, I
times.
know you played the guitar.
Somebody
Did you play the
tell
guitar on this one a little
that it
bit?
can't be done.
Yes.
Show them that you're
You got
right
down a
there
little
on the
bit. I saw
money.
you on the video. Did they put a stand in for you, or was that you dancing? That was you dancing, Mr. Charles.
Think
People
so.
don't like
Yeah.
when they see you
Well, this is his
hater.
new single,
Watch
Follow
out for
Your Spirit.
backstabbers and all
Charles,
them
Mr.
people
Charles
that
Wright,
follow your
you have
spirit.
done some great things, and we are so glad you came by the Marlana J Today Show just
Follow
to
your
express
spirit,
yourself.
spirit.
Thanks for having me.
Listen to your
You are so
heart.
welcome. Thanks for being here. And we
Just the
appreciate your
sound.
patience with us. And we look
And if
forward to
you
all the
follow
great
through,
things you're doing, your new book coming
won't
out,
leave that
Yeah.
and
dust in your
any additional
car.
things you want to share. We're going to turn the music down just a little bit. Is in any additional things you want to share, Mr. Charles?
Not really. I mean, we really expressed ourselves for the last 20, 30 minutes. I,
Okay, wonderful.
I appreciate you saying that you enjoyed Looking for an Ugly Woman. That's one of my favorite videos.
Everybody's gonna go look for that video now. It's so good to have you in the house. I'm telling you. And you guys listen to some of his music that's revolutionary. And we need to start playing some of that and getting our consciousness back um, to where we're thinking about how we move in this world. Mr. Charles, thank you so much for coming. You guys have a great evening. Be on the lookout for so many things for you. I'm just excited that you are still kicking it, still looking charming as ever, even though you say you don't have any hair. I know whoever is in the background, she's not even gonna come on the screen. She keeping you straight. She keeping you straight, bruh. She keeping you straight.
Don't give her all that credit. She already thinks she's cute.
I love it. You guys have a great night. To Don, thank you so much. You guys have a fantastic rest of your evening. And thank you so much again for stopping by and
Thank you,
spending
and
some time.
thank you, brother Cody. Thank you so much for putting me
Yes,
on this beautiful lady.
that's right. Thank you, Brother Cody. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Bye, Mr.
All
Charles
right,
Wright.
bye bye.
Smoking
All your
and
spirit.
drinking. Spirit.
That's to express
Listen to
yourself.
your heart.
The Express Yourself artist with the new song, Follow
Listen
Your
to your
Spirit.
heart.
It's a cute song. It's a nice song. It's upbeat, and it's great for some steppers that are out there. Okay. You guys, thanks for stopping by the Marlana J Today show. And don't forget, I also have a book out, Riding the Waves. Pick it up, Amazon or Barnes and Noble. Riding the Waves when challenges come our way. It's all about what we talked about tonight. You know, you have different challenges that come. You just keep pressing. Don't let nobody stop you. You guys keep it real, 100, and be inspired. And hopefully, you got a little motivation and inspiration today. Marlana J Today Show.